Hey guys, it's Dr. Green here, Lake Norman Health and Wellness. We talk a lot about genetically modified foods and really the health risks associated with GMs and these genetically modified biofoods. We talk about corn, soy, cottonseed, a lot of these gluten, a lot of these things that are getting thrown into our bodies that make us sick. Well, I see that every day in my practice with autoimmune diseases. And something that really got on my side was something that a very big company is doing. Now, a big fan of mine is Food Babe, Vani. She's down in Charlotte, a big giant GMO blogger. She had a post 2 weeks ago, talked about the giant dairy company Chobani. They are the top Greek yogurt brand in the US. And they just claimed that last week they can't afford to source their cows from rBGH free sources. Now, they are all natural. They claim on their packages that they don't use any dairy that comes from cows' milk that has rBGH in it. Now, rBGH is a genetically modified growth hormone. We're going to talk about that, but they're saying they can't do this anymore. Now, according to Adweek, Chobani spent $52 million last year on advertising, and they reported revenues of over $600 million. So, if they say that they're live, all natural, real, how can they say that if they're using genetically modified dairy? So, GMO Inside has a huge article, and I want everybody to go here, and I want you to voice your opinion about this because we have to tell them they can't do this. We talk about what they're doing. There are 6 ad agencies that we all have to call and tell them, you know what, because these are who Chobani uses. Tell them, we're not going to buy your product if you do that, and we got to tell them no. And there's a great petition on there as well, but you know what? The bottom line issue is you guys have no idea, because we're not necessarily required as a company. Nobody's required to tell you if rBGH is in a product or not in a product. But I'll tell you what, because they're doing this, I'm going to teach you guys what rBGH does to your body. And what we're going to talk about is why rBGH is actually bad. So, in 1993, the FDA approved Monsanto's genetically modified rBGH. It was a genetically altered growth hormone that could be injected into dairy cows. Now, GH, growth hormone, is a protein hormone which stimulates a part of the brain called the pituitary gland of the cows to help them produce more milk. It increases production, profits for the dairy corporations. Scientists warned that using rBGH resulted in an increase of a chemical called IGF-1 from 70% to 1,000%. The FDA still approved rBGH for safe use. Now, why is IGF-1 bad? Because it causes breast cancer. Because it causes colorectal cancer, it causes prostate cancer. It's been linked to a 2.5 to 4 times higher risk of those cancers. Dr. Epstein at the University of Chicago states that this induces the malignant transformation of human breast epithelial cells. In other words, it causes breast cancer. Now, Canadian studies confirmed this suspicion. They showed active IGF-1 absorption, development of thyroid cysts, internal organ damage in rats. I see patients that come in with thyroid goiters, that come in with thyroid problems all the time. You know what? They're drinking milk, and a lot of that milk has rBGH in it. It's not just rats. I'm telling you, this can affect humans. Yet the FDA denies the significance of these findings. 2 award-winning journalists, Steve Wilson and Jane Aker, tried to expose these deceptions. They were actually fired by Fox Network. Well, whatever conspiracy theories you want to do with, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about research, and even the FDA's own scientists showed problems with rBGH. So, they showed a spleen mass increase of 40 to 46%. This is a sign of developing leukemia. Monsanto was completely wrong when they said that the hormone was killed by pasteurization or rendered inactive. Now, when you pasteurize milk, it takes 15 seconds for that process. 2 of Monsanto's own scientists did a research that showed that after 30 minutes of pasteurization, only 19% of the hormone was destroyed. So if you're boiling it for 15 seconds, you're getting a lot less than 19%. How do you think that you can destroy rBGH out of the milk? You can't. In fact, you can't. So you know what? Canada, the European Union, the EU, Australia, New Zealand, they've all banned rBGH. You can't buy it there. The UN's International Health Standards Body refuses to certify it as safe. Yet, despite all this growing body of research, it's still sold here. Although Monsanto actually sold its milk hormone business in 2008. Keep in mind, Monsanto is a corporation. A lot of us consider them, right up there as bad as you could possibly imagine. But at the same time, they're out to make money. They sold that business because they knew that it was trouble. But it's still available for you, me. You go to Denny's, you go to Shoney's, you go to, Bob Evans. You go to Fridays, you go to Chili's, you go to all these chain restaurants, and you get milk for your kid. You know what? That milk usually is not organic, and it has rBGH in it. So cows injected with rBGH have a much higher level of udder infections, up to 25% according to some studies. Farmers end up using more antibiotics that actually end up in the dairy products we consume. So even worse, labels don't tell us this. They don't warn us of growth hormone, so many of us don't even realize that we're consuming it. High levels of antibiotics lead to allergic reactions. They weaken the effects of other antibiotics due to growth in resistant bacteria. Now, scientists have warned of this happening for years. The overuse of antibiotics is strongly linked to hard-to-treat illnesses in people. I see this in my practice every day. And many companies are now rBGH free because of consumer demand. What about cheese? We've talked about Greek yogurt with Chobani and how they can't be allowed to do this. And we won't buy their products. What about you go to the store and you buy cheese and you look on the label and it shows what's in it? It doesn't say if it's organic or not. It doesn't say if it has rBGH or not, if it's all natural or not. It says cheese. And you know what? If it just says cheese, it's probably coming from dairy that's rBGH. What about sour cream, cottage cheese? You know, the real problem is still unknown. As we ingest these GMO products, we don't know what the long-term effects on human evolution are going to be. We know that in cows, rBGH causes a rapid increase in birth defects and shorter lifespans. The number of calves born with birth defects to dairy cows has increased significantly. The real thorn in my side, again, is that no long-term studies have been conducted by the FDA or anyone else. But while we don't do anything without studying a topic to boredom, Canada and the EU have taken very proactive steps, and they've banned the use of rBGH in their dairy cows. Cows' milk that has rBGH contains a higher level of pus, bacteria, and fat. Monsanto's analysis of these products shows that it's going to cause more and more health problems. You know, you need to go onto Chobani's website today and tell them not to do this. You need to stop eating anything that has rBGH in it because of the health risks that are too great for you. You need to go onto all the milk company sites and say, don't put this in your milk, take it out. You need to go to Harris Teeter, Lowe's, Bilo, Ingles, Food Lion, Publix, Fresh Market, Earth Fare, all these different grocery stores and say, don't sell anything that has rBGH in it. Spread this video, tell them, look, here's the research. And I can tell you, I have a lot of people who help me with this research. I see a lot of other patients, naturopaths and MDs and PhDs that I get my research from. It's out there and you can do it yourself and you can find out how bad this information is. If you want more information on GMO health risks, if you want to learn more about the problems that we've talked about here, call my office. Ask to speak with me. Shoot me an email. My email is akiba@drakibagreen.com. That's akiba@drakibagreen.com. Feel free to call my office at 704-987-3993. Schedule to meet with me, or go to my website at drakibagreen.com or askdrakiba.com for my blog. I hope to talk to you guys soon and help educate you on the effects of GMO, and I hope that you eat healthier as we go forward. Thank you.